This is going to be the replay and recap of the recent FSU comp at Sportsland. So we had a great event. Saw the return of prior winner Lilydrifts, who won an early FSU competition, and the return of JoshuaPerez. So overall, great battles from all drivers. Now, the goal of this recap is to serve as a condensed replay of all the runs and give you some insight into the judges' decisions. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look at our opening bracket. Alright, so for our opening bracket, we have Saggaboi going against JPrince. Fredo will go against Josh. BaldsisBasics gets a bye. Michael against One Take Jay, and Kevin versus Lily for our opening rounds. Let's get right into our first battle. First up, we'll have Saggaboi versus jPrince. jPrince will be leading. Drivers get the roll. And into the first clip. jPrince nice and wide on that first clip, right in the outside edge. Clip 2, nice and tight on inner clip 2. Saggaboi is right behind him and through to the finish. Nice clean run. So drivers are now going to switch. We'll have Saggaboi lead and jPrince giving chase. Saggaboi lead, jPrince giving chase. Drivers are on the line. They get the fade. And they're off. Coming down right here, you have the 60 roll before you get into the first entry. Coming up to the first clip, nice big and wide by Saggaboi right in the outside of the bump strip. Got a little bit of a gap here forming on jPrince's chase. jPrince tries to avoid contact, cuts it in too early and isn't quite able to recover coming up to the last clip, and that's really going to cost him on this run. So let's go ahead and take out a quick breakdown of Saggaboi versus jPrince. Alright, so here we are at outside clip number 1. Up top we have Sagga lead, down below jPrince leading, and we can see at the entry to outside clip number 1 right off the bat, Sagga's putting on distance. jPrince not giving as good of a chase here midway on outside clip number 1. Sagga's doing a much better job on chase than jPrince. Both drivers are out wide on that bump strip. Then moving on down to inside clip number 2, both drivers on their lead run do a good job of making that inside clip, but up top we'll see jPrince is trying to close that gap, but he's comes in, almost makes contact with Sagga's rear bumper, then he has to correct, straightens out, and he isn't quite able to recover in good shape by the end of that run, and that gives Sagga the win for that round. So next up we have JayDrift versus Michael. Drivers get the fade and they're off. Nice big entry by Michael. Good job getting out wide at outside clip number 1. Now to inside clip number 2. Bit of a lag there on inside clip number 2. Right in the outside bump strip into last clip. Good run there by both drivers. Now drivers are going to switch. We'll have Jay lead, Michael giving chase. Jay lead, Michael chase. Down into the 60 roll. A little bit of a gap there at the entry to outside clip number 1. JayDrift does a good job of getting to the outside edge at outside clip 1. Coming on down to inside clip number 2. He hits his inside clip number 2 and then almost spins out, corrects, and then completes his run. A little bit of lag at inside clip number 2. We asked each driver if they had lag on their screen. No driver said they had lag for them, so judges went ahead and made a call for that run. Michael got the win. Let's go ahead and take a look at the breakdown of that run. So here at outside clip number 1, both drivers do a good job of getting out wide, right in that outside edge of that bump strip, but the main thing to note here is the entry point. So you'll see on the bottom, Michael's initiation is a little bit late. Up top, JayDrift initiates much earlier at the correct point. Inside clip number 2, main thing to note here is a near spin out there by JayDrift. Both drivers had a really good run up until this point. It could have been a possible OMP battle for this matchup had it not been for that near spin out by JayDrift. But with that, Michael gets the win and moves on to the next round. Alright, so next up we have Lily versus Kevin. Now we haven't seen Lily for quite some time, however this should still be a really good match because both Lily and Kevin are prior FSU comp winners. Lily lead, Kevin giving chase. They get the 60 roll into the first clip. Lily gets big and wide at the entry, cuts a little bit short there, gets back out to the outside edge. Inside clip number 2. Inside clip number 2, Kevin is right there on her bumper. That was a really nice run by both drivers, and that closes out that run. So the drivers are going to switch. We'll have Kevin lead, Lily giving chase. Kevin lead, Lily giving chase. Drivers are off the line. Coming down into the 60 roll. A little bit of a gap there at the entry. Kevin goes big and wide, also cuts it a little bit short. Not quite as bad as Lily there. Inside clip number 2, a little bit more gap there on Lily's chase at inside clip number 2. But still a good looking run by both drivers. So let's go ahead and take a look at the breakdown of that run. So here at outside clip number 1, you can see on the bottom Kevin's giving a much better chase, and that really helped him keep his proximity through the rest of the run. We'll start up top with Kevin's lead. You'll see Kevin goes out big and wide, and he cuts it in a little bit short and then gets back out to the bump strip. Now at the bottom, looking at Lily's lead, Lily also goes out big and wide at the entry and then cuts it even shorter. Luckily, Kevin doesn't make contact, able to recover well. Now moving on down the inside clip number 2 up top, Kevin comes in, does a good job hitting his inside clip. Lily is giving a good chase, but now looking down below at the bottom, we'll see Kevin's chase at the inside clip number 2 is much tighter on Lily's bumper, just a little bit more gap by Lily on her chase, and Kevin gets the win for that round and moves on. Alright, so next up we have Fredo and Josh, 2 OGs in the game. Should also be a really good matchup here. Drivers are off the line. Into the 60 roll. Fredo nice at the entry, nice big swing. Right in the outside edge of that bump strip, way on the outside there. That was really nice by Fredo. Coming down into inside clip number 2, hits his inside clip. Josh not giving up any distance there on the chase and closes out the run for the first matchup between Fredo and Josh. Joshua lead, Fredo chase, drivers get the fade and they're off. Into the 60 roll, up into the entry. Josh big and wide, a little bit of a gap here forming. Josh cuts it in short, gets back out to the outside edge, moving on down the inside clip number 2. Inside clip number 2, big and wide, gets back out to that bump strip, but got more gap there by Fredo on the chase. Coming up to outside clip number 3. I'm not sure what happened for Fredo there at the start, why he was lagging on chase a little bit, but we'll go ahead and take a look at the breakdown of Fredo and Josh. Outside clip number 1 up top, Josh leading. Down below, Fredo leads. Starting up top with Joshua lead. Joshua gets out nice and wide at the entry, cuts it in a little bit short, and then gets back out to the outside edge. Fredo not as close as we'd like him to be on the chase. Down below, looking at Fredo's lead. Fredo does a really nice job here, right in the outside edge the entire time throughout that entire corner, but Joshua's right there on chase. Down below at the inside clip number 2, Joshua nice and tight. Fredo has maybe about a car and a half gap there. Moving on down to the bottom, we'll look at that again, looking at Joshua, or Fredo's lead, sorry. Fredo nice and tight on the inside, but Joshua did a much better job there on the chase. Now another thing to note, coming to inside clip number 3, right before the finish, Fredo straightens out right there and then throws ankle back in it, comes in, straightens out, throws ankle back in it to complete. And so with that, Joshua gets the win and moves on to the next round. Okay, so that closes out our first round of competition. Really great runs there by all the drivers. Let's take a look at the leaderboard and see where we stand going into the semifinals. Saggaboi takes the win against JPrince. JoshuaPerez gets the win against Fredo. BaldisBasics got the bye and will now see Michael in the semifinals. Michael got the win against One Take Jay. Kevin moves on, getting the win against Lilydrifts, and we'll start off our semifinals round with BaldsisBasics versus Michael. Michael lead, BaldsisBasics giving chase. Outside clip number 1, nice big and wide outside clip number 1 by Michael. We have a gap here forming an outside clip number 1. Inside clip number 2, Michael comes in wide. Baldy almost makes contact there. Coming up to inside clip number 3, Michael makes inside clip number 3, and Baldy goes off somehow. Not sure what happened there for Baldy, but he ends up off track, and couldn't say it any better than that. Drivers switch. Baldy lead, Michael giving chase into the 60 roll. Outside clip number 1, Baldy does good job at outside clip number 1, gets out nice and wide. Inside clip number 2, starts off wide inside clip number 2, makes his inside clip, but Michael's right there giving a good chase on his bumper, and that closes out the run. So let's go ahead and take a look at the analysis. So we'll start up top at outside clip number 1. On the top we have BaldisBasics lead, on the bottom we have a Michael lead, and you'll see both drivers do a pretty good job, an equal job of getting out wide onto that bump strip, but you'll notice the difference here in proximity. Up top you'll see Michael's doing a much better job in the chase position following BaldisBasics. Inside clip number 2, up top Baldy lead, he comes in nice and tight, he makes his inside clip. Michael down below is a little bit too wide, misses that inside clip. Now what gave Michael the win here is right here at outside clip number 3. Somehow Baldy ends up off track, and that pretty much closes out Baldy's chance of moving on. Now there was a possibility for an OMT run there, as both drivers made about equal mistakes on that run. However, going off track will count as a DNF, and with that Michael gets the win and moves on. Saggaboi versus JoshuaPerez. We'll start off with Saggaboi lead, Joshua giving chase, drivers are off the line. Sagga does a good job at outside clip number 1, goes big at outside clip number 1. Joshua's right there giving a good chase. Inside clip number 2, Joshua door dives, almost makes contact into Sagga there inside clip number 2, but he's able to recover and complete. Both drivers successfully complete that run. Now drivers are going to switch. We'll have Joshua lead, Sagga giving chase. Joshua leads, Sagga giving chase. Drivers are off into the 60 roll. Coming up to outside clip number 1, Joshua goes big, starts off big, then cuts it in a little bit short. We have a gap here forming between the drivers. Inside clip number 2, Joshua makes inside clip number 2. Sagga is trying to keep up. He's doing a decent job there. Both drivers complete that run, and let's go ahead and take a quick look at the breakdown of that run. So here outside clip number 1 up top, you'll see Joshua is high on the inside. He doesn't quite make his clip there. Now inside clip number 2, both drivers make their inside clip on the lead run, but you'll see the difference in proximity there. At inside clip number 2, inside clip number 3, both drivers successfully complete inside clip number 3, but both drivers made about equal mistakes, and they get an OMT run. We'll start off with Sagga leading for the OMT run. Outside clip number 1, Sagga again, good job staying nice and wide. JoshuaPerez is right there on the bumper. Good proximity and too tight. At inside clip number 2, he door dives again, but this time is not able to avoid contact. And as long as Sagga does a clean chase here, that is going to move Sagga on to the next round. So Sagga is giving chase here. Joshua lead. Outside clip number 1, Joshua big and wide at outside clip number 1. Again cuts it in a little bit short. Sagga's doing a better job here on the chase. Coming up in the inside clip number 2, Joshua makes his inside clip number 2 about the same distance coming up to the finish between the drivers as we saw last time, but Sagga does a clean chase, and Sagga will get the win and move on. Let's go ahead and take a look at the breakdown of that OMT run. Outside clip number 1 up top, we have Joshua lead. Down below we have Sagga lead, and here at the apex of outside clip number 1, you'll see Joshua cuts it in too tight, doesn't quite get out as wide there as Sagga. Sagga did a great job at outside clip number 1. Inside clip number 2, both drivers come in and hit their inside clip. Joshua's putting on distance on Sagga, but however, when Joshua's in the chase position, he makes contact at inside clip number 2 with Sagga, and because of that contact, Sagga gets the win and moves on to the next round. Next up, we have Kevin and Michael for their semifinals battle. Kevin versus Michael. The second place and third place winner from our last competition here, battling out to 2, goes on to the next round for first place. Kevin gets out wide. Good job by Kevin at outside clip number 1. Bit of a gap here forming coming into inside clip number 2. Both drivers make the inside clip at number 2. Inside clip number 3, both drivers complete, and that was a clean run by both drivers. Now both drivers are going to switch. Moving on down to the 60 roll into outside clip number 1. Outside clip number 1, good job on both drivers are outside clip number 1. Kevin's really putting on the pressure with that proximity there. Into inside clip number 2. Michael hits his inside clip at number 2, cuts it a little bit short at the exit up to inside clip number 3 and completes. Let's take a look at the breakdown. Outside clip number 1, you'll see up top Michael does a great job of getting out wide. He actually gets out wide a little bit further than Kevin does here at outside clip number 1. However, Kevin does a much better job on his chase. Now coming into inside clip number 2, you'll see both drivers make that inside clip, but the difference in proximity here is quite noticeable. You'll see Kevin's got about a 2-car gap on Michael coming into inside clip number 2. Inside clip number 3, both drivers make inside clip number 3. Kevin gets the win for this match, moves on to see Saggaboi in the battle for first place. So that closes out our semifinals round. Great job by all the drivers there. Some really good battles. Let's take a look at the leaderboard, see where we stand before we get into our battle for first place here. Saggaboi takes the win against JoshuaPerez and moves on. Michael gets the win against BaldisBasics. In his second semifinals round, he loses to Kevin. Kevin moves on to see Saggaboi in the finals. Unfortunately for Michael, he did have 2 rounds before he would even possibly be able to contend in the finals. Loses his second round, secures 3rd place, the same position he came in at the last FSU competition at Mayhan. However, Michael's only competed in 2 events, each time getting a podium position, so he's really shaping up to be a top contender here. Kevin placed 2nd in the last FSU competition at Mayhan. He's done a really good job putting on the pressure with that proximity. I can tell he really wants to get that first place title. However, Saggaboi has not been a slouch this entire event, throwing down some fire lead runs, getting out nice and wide, hitting all his outside clips and inner clips. So this is shaping up to be a really good battle for first place. Alright, and this is it, folks. The battle for first place, we have Kevin versus Sagga. Sagga leading into outside clip number 1. Sagga comes up a little bit short this time. He did a really good job getting out wide there on his pass runs. Inside clip number 2, he makes inside clip number 2, but Kev finds his way right there back into the pocket on Sagga's door. Great job there by both drivers. That was a fire run, so now drivers are going to switch. We'll have Kevin lead, Sagga giving chase. Kevin leads, Sagga chase, outside clip number 1. Kevin does a better job here, getting out wide to outside clip number 1, inside clip number 2. Kevin makes inside clip number 2. Sagga starts to drop behind a little here, coming up to inside clip number 3. And that's the run. Let's take a quick look at that run. Here we are outside clip number 1. Up top we have Kevin lead, down below we have Sagga lead. So we'll see down below. Sagga doesn't get quite as wide as Kevin does here. Kevin has a little bit better distance in terms of proximity outside clip number 1. Inside clip number 2, both drivers in the lead position make that inside clip. However, this is when Sagga starts to fall behind a little bit at the exit of outside clip number 2. Judges call it too close to call and it'll get an OMT. Drivers are going to go for the OMT run. Battle for first place, we'll have Sagga lead, Kevin giving chase. Sagga lead, Kevin giving chase. Outside clip number 1, Sagga gets out wide this time. Much better job getting out wide to outside clip number 1, but Kevin is right there, showing that same proximity we've seen all competition. Both drivers make inside clip number 2, inside clip number 3. Both drivers make inside clip number 3 and complete. Kevin leads, Sagga giving chase. Drivers are off the line. Into the 60 roll, outside clip number 1. Kevin goes big at outside clip number 1, comes off a little bit short there. Sagga's not doing as good a job on proximity there. Again at inside clip number 2, we see him starting to drop behind a little bit worse this time. Go ahead and take a look at the breakdown of that finals OMT run. So we're here at outside clip number 1. Up top we have Kevin Lee, down below we have Sagga Lee. So at the entry point to outside clip number 1, you can see the difference in proximity here. Kevin's put himself in a good position to stay tight on the chase. Kevin comes off a little bit short midway to the outside of outside clip 1. Sagga's doing a better job getting out wide, but Kevin's doing a much better job keeping that proximity throughout that corner. We'll look at it again in slow motion. Let's see, Kevin comes up a little bit short, Sagga's out wide, but Kevin's doing a better job there on chase. Inside clip number 2. Both drivers in the lead position make that inside clip, but you can see the noticeable difference in proximity there. Sagga not as tight on the chase as we would like him to be. He isn't able to gain any more ground coming up to inside clip number 3, and with that, Kevin gets the win. Second place last competition. This time he secures that first place title. Saggaboi gets second. Let's go ahead and take a look at our closing leaderboard. So Kevin gets the win against Saggaboi, secures that first place title. That's Kevin's second time getting first place in an FSU competition. Saggaboi comes in second, with Michael coming in third. His second third place podium finish for the newcomer. Really great comp, really fire runs by all drivers. Even got to see the return of Lily and Joshua, so thank you to all the drivers who came out and participated. Thank you to the viewers watching this. If you liked it, go ahead and give us that thumbs up, give us a subscribe. If you want to participate or compete in one of these events, there is a server link in the description. Why don't you just hop in the server and give us a shout, let us know you're interested. So again, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you at the next one.